I've used Blogger throughout my coursework to plan and also share my work. I use this on a regular basis during the planning stages of my coursework, as this is where I uploaded my work for teachers and other people to see. I have never used this before, so it was something new to me. I found it quite easy to use and helpful with setting out different parts of my work and showing it with teachers and also media students. It is also easier than writing everything out in paper version and is easily accessible. Although I did have problems of losing my work and having to start again, so I wouldn't say it's always reliable. The internet was a big part of my product, as I used it for research on the current pop magazines theorists that are relevant and ways to attract my intended audience. If I did not have internet access, I feel I would have struggled quite a lot. The internet allowed me to analyse current products and also use Blogger and SurveyMonkey to gain information. The internet was probably my biggest help during this project, and I feel that it was essential. SurveyMonkey was also a big part of the process, as this is where I got everything I needed to know about my audience and their needs when it comes to magazines. As I had also never used this before, I had to learn how it worked, but found this quick and easy, and now do not know how I've ever completed surveys without it, as I found it helped me a lot and is an easy way to get quick information. In terms of using digital SLR cameras, like the Canon 5D and 600D, I found that these products produce a much higher quality than ordinary digital cameras that I would use before doing media. This helped with my product as it made my images look more professional and clear. I used Photoshop frequently during the making of my cover contents page and double page spread, and I feel it helped me a lot as I was able to easily edit and put together images to make them look like real magazine images. The main thing I learned how to do were adjust brightness, adjust contrast, apply filters, change opacity of filter, resize images, crop images, move image, erase unwanted objects or backgrounds, group layers, and save my work in the right format. I learned how to use InDesign for completing my layouts and added my text. I had never used this before, but once I had mastered the basics, I found it very helpful as it made things look a lot more professional put together than my prelim work, which I had just done in Photoshop. To film my evaluation, I used digital SLR camera to set to film mode. I put on a tripod in front of me, made sure the focus was right by flipping the view screen and adjusting the focus, then pressed record when I was ready to start. I set a blue screen up behind me to make the final edit more interesting. Once I have finished filming, I will edit my final evaluation on iMovie. I have used this before, so I know how to trim clips and images into blue screen, adjust the sound and export it. I will then post my video on YouTube and link it onto my blog. This is again an example of how the internet has helped me and been essential throughout my coursework. When I look at my preliminary task compared to my final project, it shows how much I've learnt and the new skills that I've applied to my work. When I created my prelim task, I didn't know much about audience research, common conventions or different technology I could use. And I think you can see this as my prelim work highlights my lack of experience. If you look at my prelim task, you can see that I didn't really know about layout. I had some clue of what it should look like, but it isn't really well put together and looks unprofessional and messy. Also, the colours don't really work well together for my intended audience. The images aren't very interesting or exciting and lack quality. Also, as you can see from the way it's edited, I've not used InDesign, only Photoshop. Making these mistakes with my prelim task did make me realise that my research and technology skills needed to improve a lot before I made my final piece. And I think it is evident in my final work that I did make a lot of improvements and learn a lot. I took more time to learn how to use certain programs which could help me. I researched more in my target audience to see what colours, layout and images they would prefer, what common conventions to follow and how to make it look more eye-catching and professional. I've used a better layout, more suited typography and improved my Lexis. All these put together make my final product much better and more powerful. Even though I feel that my final cover contents page and double page spread are by far better than my prelim task, I think there is room for improvement. For example, my images could still be better in terms of mode and address, and I could still do with learning more about creating professional layout. In conclusion, I feel that even though I've learned a lot of new skills from creating my prelim task to the process of my final products, and it looks a lot more professional, I could have improved and followed more common conventions if I had more time. The music magazine industry is very popular in the United Kingdom, and despite there being more dips in printed magazine sales, many people still enjoy reading music magazines. However, it is hard to be an independent publisher and distributor when there is much more competition on the market and when printing and marketing costs are high. For these reasons, I would like an established institution to distribute my magazine. Bauer is a worldwide empire offering over 300 magazines in 15 countries. IPC, which is now known as Time Inc., are also very popular and published anime. Future PLC offer many new magazines in the different genres, such as technology, games and music. If I was to choose one of these publishers for magazine sound, I would go for Bauer as it has the most experience within the music magazine genre, so this means they know how to market my magazine so it reaches its intended audience. They also have a large selection of magazines, so they would be able to cater for mine to distribute it to a wider audience.